Yeah, so that's why I was that why I share the Jupyter notebook about both at the same time, because it's always good to do both together, like univariate and bivariate, and even multivariate are not so far. It's just a concept things, like if you are doing univariate, then you are working with single variables, like yes, let's if in your data set you have a lot of columns, for example, and you want to be exploring your columns, yes, then you just use univariates, like single columns per columns exploration. And then maybe you want to explore two columns at the same times, then it involves a bivariate analysis. And then if you want to use more than two columns, you want to explore or visualize, or yes, do something about more than two columns, you will just be using multivariate analysis. So the multivariate analysis part is what we call, like, let's say, dimension reduction. Yes, like and the most used is actually the PCA. That's why in your challenge, yes, we have you have some PCA task, and from there, yeah, I think PCA and K-means. Yes. So now I just want to cover the univariate and multivariate, and in the today further you have the data set which is about employee data set coming from human resources. So like we are just about exploring how the employee behavior could just affect the, yes, the fact the churn or not. So yeah, the link for today drive, I think Sebastian can share this with you.
Yeah, I'll share
Yeah.
that.
Okay, sure. So let me just share my screen, and then I want to cover this quickly. So you already know the dataset, because yesterday Mustafa and Sebastian was doing some tutorial about knowing your dataset, or conducting like basic pandas, and yeah, about the dataset. So I will just go from mine, and let's say exactly. So I have a data exploration, univariate and bivariate analysis at the same time. So it's about the same data set. I provided in the today folder as well. And so you have actually one data set about churn employees, and another about current employee. So let's say like the current employee, they want, like, we don't really know information about those one. We don't know if they are going to churn or not. So based on, yes, normally this should involve some machine learning, but before any machine learning, you need to explore your data set. So like machine learning, to say it will be useful to actually predict from those current employee, the ones who are just going to churn, based on the study on the study of the churn employee behavior. Yes, so the final goals is that, because like when we know correctly the behavior, we can just behavior of churn employee, we can just characterize the current employee and just compute the probability for those one to churn. So this is the final goal. So, but here I just want to go through quickly and manipulate some data exploration techniques. So here I'm just importing the data set, and so as the data set was not actually together, like there are two separated data sets. So yesterday you saw that one with Sebastian, how to merge your data set, and actually I merge them, and I create also the left column, like the churn column. So if it's so for the churn employee, I just fill it as 0, and for those who did not churn yet, I just fill it as 1, and then I just concatenate or merge the both, and to get a single data set. So I will work with this single data set. Of course, I have this column left, which provides some difference, like to say those guys are already churned and those are not yet their current customers. So we are about to analyze them and see how things could be happening, let's say in the next coming in the coming months. So here is just something to point the object type, let's say the data type of each column. So this is a kind of analysis we should actually do to know what are our variables type. Like some could be just quantitative and some other could just be qualitative, or both. So like I'm exploring things here, and here you can see the columns we actually have: satisfaction level, last evaluation, number of projects, average monthly hours, and time spent at company, and work accident. So we have many columns we can actually explore to just conduct our univariate or bivariate analysis. Yes, so here I would just formatting some of the columns, like for example, I wanted them to be I wanted all the column name to be on lowercase, so I just write it like that. So the code is not the problem. The code, you will have time to, I know you are good at coding. I just want to give you an idea of how can you actually conduct a univariate and bivariate analysis. How could you decide where to look at? So things like that. So I will be more focused on the plot. The code are here for you. You will just see later, and I know you will understand, because if you look at the result and then you look at the code, it's become more easier to get. So this, I'm just changing some data type and then printing again to see if the things I apply just make sense. So now yes, so here I'm just selecting all the quantitative variables in so just like a new data set to get all the quantitative variables, because I have also qualitative variable, but I can just explore quantitative. The way I explore quantitative variable will just be different from the way I will explore qualitative variables, for example. So from here I start exploring like your general univariate and bivariate exploration. Yes, so for the quantitative variables, actually I want them to I want to, so like the customer attrition, no, not the customer, the employee attrition, or the cost, yes, the fact that the employee will churn will more likely depends on the satisfaction. So I just start exploring how the satisfaction of that employee is actually correlated with the other quantitative variables. Yes, so this, let's say this is a kind of bivariate analysis because it's involve two variables. Yes, two variables. So like the satisfaction level and the last evaluation, and also the satisfaction level and the number of projects. So the variables, the most important variables used to be crossed with all the others to see how things are correlated with this one. So here in this data set, I think that the satisfaction level of the employee will highly determine the fact that this employee is just going to churn or to leave the company or not. Yes, so if you are not satisfied, we can just have a prior hypothesis to say, like, if you are not satisfied, you are more likely to leave the company. Yes, so but we are just gonna see here now if that is true. So I start just exploring using bivariate to see, yes, so how the, maybe I should, I think if I know, I should just, oh, because I have later some univariate, maybe I would have done the univariate before this bivariate part, but it's nothing. Just giving you idea, and in your task, in your challenge, you will see yourself how to organize. So kind of bivariate, like satisfaction level versus all the other quantitative variables, gives something like histogram, bar plot. So exactly like that, just to give you an idea of how can you actually explore. But the most important things here is to not explore like in random, like I choose the satisfaction and I use it to explore the satisfaction versus all the other quantitative variables. So that's like, why did I choose the satisfaction? I just explained that, yes, from a first view, it's like more uh, it's like the more you are satisfied, the long you will just stay in the company. But so that's why I just want to priority to give priority to these variables and then plot it versus the other to see if there is any insight I can just pick from there. So I think next I just so this should normally comes before the bifurcate because this is univariate. So just basically plot the satisfaction, the last evaluation. So all the quantitative variables I'm actually using first, to see a relationship between those one and the satisfaction level. I'm just plotting them. I'm just computing the so here is a count, so it's like an absolute frequency, yes, per variables range, so like per data point. So what are actually the distribution? So like Mustafa just used to cover those kind of things with you, like yes, absolute frequency or relative frequency. With it could be in percentage or it could just be in absolute value. Yeah, so here I just provided like that. And this, oh yes, I was working on one of the data set before I merged the two. This seemed like to be for one data set, but it's the same if you want to just plot it for both, because I at the beginning I just merge concatenate both data set in one. So like, yeah, it could just you can just update it. So this is the kind of univariate data exploration I wanted you to know. Apart from non-graphical analysis like computing means, count, average, like first quartile, second quartile. So these one are very easy because we just have to use the function describe, yes, to actually get them. I don't know if, okay, let me see if this one okay, suppose for example I want to add a so this data set is actually a new data set containing all the quantitative variables. So I wanted, for example, to compute, like, I don't know if, let me see if pandas will, okay, I want it for it. Okay, I didn't. Okay, right. So like this is a kind of univariate analysis, but without any plot actually. So for each quantitative variables, we actually just compute the count, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum, and the first quartile, second, and the third one. So it's look like yes, it's a very useful summary about a univariate analysis, a univariate not with no plotting things. Yes, just doing like that. But if we want to do to plot something, yes, then we can just be counting things like that. So just use the frequency function, and so from there, yeah, we can just go in deep with so I told you the most important variables here is the satisfaction level. And so as this is the most important, let's see how it fit with some no distribution, like normal distribution, log normal distribution. There are other distribution Mustafa already covered. So here I'm just covering those two, like to see like normal distribution. When I look at that, I'm just like asking myself, does the data look normal? If it like normal in real life, if the data are not normal, it's like not normal. Like if the data is normal, then it becomes more easier to analyze, like it's follow normal distribution. Yes, then at the beginning we will have a few frequency, at the middle we will have a lot of frequency, and then by the end, so the normal distribution is like, yeah, so I just give the plot. So when fitting to normal distribution, so the plot should be normally the distribution should be fitting do these plots, but this is not actually the case. it's nothing. It's good to explore to know that yes, I'm dealing with this kind of data. Yeah, and and now there are theory. There are some theory. If your distribution is not normal, how to normalize your distribution? Yes, because some variables really need to be processed, like normalized before used for analysis, depending on the kind of model you want to run. Yeah, and so that's why it's good to explore. So at least the most important variables. Yeah. So how does it fit with a normal distribution or a low normal distribution is depend on. So this actually doesn't fit, but it's nothing. But at least it's good to explore and to notify that yes, this is not following a normal distribution, and then from there we know that yes, we have this kind of variable. So some more analysis will be about the satisfaction level in the left statue. So I think apart from the satisfaction level, the most important variable is the left statue. I think the left statue is even more important because it's directly target the fact that the employee will leave or not. But as here we don't have like the second class, like the current employees, we don't really know if they are leaving or not leaving. So it's not like I have two class. So this one it contain people who left, and this one contain people who actually stay. I cannot say the the current employee just stay in the company, no, because we don't know it yet. That's why at the beginning we provide both data as separately, so that we know that yes, this employee just leave the company, but this other employee we don't really know yet. So like we want just to know that, we want to compute the probability for that. But at least anyhow, these two variables are the most important, and it's good actually to explore them to see, yeah, does the behavior in terms of satisfaction level of the employee who actually left the company, like, yeah, does it have any sense when we cross it with the satisfaction levels? Yeah, see, this is the kind of things we want to see. And that in that case, it's good to see first, like, what are the distribution of the satisfaction level, what are the distribution of the left statue, and then let merge the let project the left statue in the satisfaction level to see that, to see those who left the company. What can we say about the satisfaction? So like using that now, I think in this analysis I just also provide things like making some, apart from the general projection of the employee who left the company in the satisfaction level, to actually tell about the satisfaction level of those who left. I also provide some information about like dividing, for example, the employee who left the company in some cluster, like data binding. I think you can Google about that. So it's like a kind of data processing technique used to reduce the effect of minor observation error. Like your original data actually, your original data value fall into a given small interval, like the satisfaction level. For example, here the satisfaction level just fall in a small interval, like from 0 to 1. Yes, but then you will just replace those value by like a representative value of that interval. So most often we just use the central value, but I use these techniques here in this code, for example, to actually reflect some cluster, some segment of employee who leaves. So like the code is not to go through later and see, but just think about it like I'm segmenting the guys who left the company to see indeed how they are just projected, how they are just distributed in the satisfaction level. So so that's the plot was the more important, like the distribution of. I'm sorry, I put state, but it's actually the current. guys. So like, oh, okay. Okay, I think there is some misunderstanding here. So maybe in the plot, in the code, I mean, in the code, because the current guys are actually more than the those who left. So I think those who left should just be here, and the current just. So anyhow, this is kind of like if two variables like that, like the first one is like a qualitative variables like the left statue, and now the second one is a quantitative variables. Yes, like the satisfaction level. First, explore both and give in a single graph, like so the second is about the satisfaction statue, and jet now. So here we have these things about the employee who they just it the so how this is security. Yeah, so like it's looking like those who are leaving the company are like satisfied. Yeah, so but this is the kind of analysis, and this is about the segment things I was telling tell you. You will go for the code and you will see in deep how this concept can be used actually to visualize this exploration big analysis. So but after that have you also, but yes, if you are able to the search of growth, then you should be able to result. I actually provide some interpretation here. So the task is more likely to look at the graph, and to look at the interpretation and to think about, does it have sense? And now if it has sense, then you get the way. You get the way because your analysis should normally reflect like a logic analysis. So from the univariate exploration, we come up here, and here now we are getting some insight. We are just plotting things. We get useful plot, but if you don't know how to interpret information in those plot, in those interpretation of information we just get from those analysis, this become unuseful. So the task is also to look at the plot first, and if you get what I'm doing, look at the interpretation, and if you get yes, then look at the code to see how to do kind of such kind of, then you know the direction. Like I don't want you to focus on the code, because I want you to have in mind that yes, we want to do some analysis, but what kind of mindset do we need to actually conduct the analysis, to actually know which variables are we going to explore? Yeah, as your weekly challenge, for example, at the beginning, there is a data set, and all the question we actually asked you was actually derived. I think we just look at the data set, and using this main set of data analysis, like from the beginning to the end, in terms of data exploration, like we provide question. So when you actually look at all the question, is seem like there are some logic. So this is the kind of logic I want you to get. Like and perform in the real life. When you start beginning, yes, there will be people there will be asking you question to guide you in your analysis. But when you start be a senior data scientist, or yes, you start getting seniority, then they can just give you the data set. Maybe if I'm, for example, your manager, I could just say, look at the data set and produce me a report to appreciate the user like view. I want to appreciate the user experience. I want to appreciate the customer satisfaction. I want to appreciate the engagement. And then I give you like a general purpose like that. So how do you actually know that? Yes, when I'm dealing with the user satisfaction or the user engagement, yes, there are some useful variable I should think about. And thinking about those variables also require like I know that this variable is important for this kind of analysis, but why should I cross these variables with this, or why should I run a PCA there and not a k-means, or just not a bivariate analysis? So what is useful depending on the context I'm doing my analysis. Like I want it to be like yes, a conceptor, like not just a technician who will just run the question they provided to him. I just want you to think like, yes, if I have my data set, because that's why I was talking about the satisfaction variables. You look at the data set, what is the most important variables? Here we have satisfaction, we have the left statue. So let's explore actually those two variables compared to the other variables. Let's make some hypotheses. So to make the hypothesis, you have to start exploring from the beginning. Like, yes, some univariate distribution. This is just gonna help you see like, do we have a normal distribution about our data, or do we have some like lot of missing value, or do we have like outliers? Or like, if you know such things now, then you come and like, okay, how those variables are correlated with the most important in our data set. So some kind of plot could just help you, and from there you will just have idea about hypotheses. Like, yes, if you have some positive correlation, then you can imagine that yes, this and these variables are just affecting positively this. So from there, you start having a view of, like, let's say the final goal is actually machine learning. So what are the most important features in your current data set? Like, what are the most important variable which is actually determining the decision of living of an employee in the company now? So then it's becoming clear, because you have an idea about some bivariate analysis give you some idea about what are some possible correlation. Like, yes, if I take the satisfaction level, is actually maybe correlated with the left statue. So like the satisfaction level is the next variable I should consider to actually check about the left statue. Or if I look at the satisfaction, I saw that, so this satisfaction is actually correlated with the salary of the employee, or it's actually correlated with the number of hours of work in the company, like in the department. So how much is it difficult to actually work in an IT, in an information technology department than HR department, for example? Maybe those who are working in the HR department are more likely to stay in the company than those who are working in IT, because it's a lot of work, depending on, I don't know, I'm just like, you look at your bivariate analysis and then you are able to set up some hypotheses. And now this is where hypothesis testing come, like what Mustafa was showing. Like, you have some idea about hypothesis you want to test. Sometimes, yes, when you are beginning, they will be giving you idea, do this, test this hypothesis, and in order to do some this analysis, yes, just ask you some question, go through and answer the question, and then at the end, when you read your report, you will feel like you are happy because you conduct a full analysis. But when you become senior, you will just like look at the general objective and derive some steps, like the steps you are going to follow to conduct your analysis from the beginning to the end. And then you are just going to define your hypothesis yourself. So here we are looking this binary bivariate exploration, and we are making some hypotheses. So like, there could be multiple reasons for leaving the company. And for third segment, I think satisfaction is not the criteria for leaving. Yes. So like, this is an hypothesis. This is a hypothesis. So if you had this hypothesis, how could you actually test this hypothesis? So you have, I think Mustafa just told you about the steps of an hypothesis testing. So you will go to sample your data, you will go to compare two populations, those who left using like your condition. So those who are living it, who are actually in the third segment versus those who are not actually in the third segment, let's compare at a statistical level Yes, the living statue or the satisfaction variables, like two simple means testing, hypothesis testing, or maybe analysis of variables if you have more than one class to compare. Like, so I just talking like some hypothesis testing idea comes from here. But where did you get the hypothesis? From the exploration, from the exploration. So once you do the exploration, you have some hypothesis, and then when you hypothesis can just be turned into question. So from question, you are just gonna explore in deep your data set actually to see, yes, how can actually answer the question, how can actually test the hypothesis. It depends. Like if you have a lot of data set, you will go for testing and hypothesis don't necessarily mean computing p-value. No, you can just test the hypothesis if you are able to get all the population data. Just like go and compute some descriptive statistic to check about your hypothesis. If you are not now able to collect all the population data and you just want to collect data from a sample, and from there you will now actually take decision of the world population, yes, there you will have to set up some hypothesis testing criteria like you saw with Mustafa in hypothesis testing. So another hypothesis is looking the above analysis and above bivariate analysis. Another hypothesis is just the other two segments are behavior. For example, like the certain employee hiring. Yes, so they are just like okay. Okay, so like about the distribution of the satisfaction through the segment. So here they was telling about the third segment here also, like the third segment, at least these two segments show that the employee are not satisfied, unlike, okay, so they are just comparing those two other two segments to the third segment in like using the satisfaction level. So there are some hypotheses that would come in your mind, and from those hypotheses now you know which direction your analysis will take from there. Yes, so like we start exploring using now this hypothesis, we start exploring in deep, and then you will see that we are start maybe the employee who leave the company are just like working in some department. So some department may be like giving some more pressure than some other department. Maybe it's because of that. So those who are working in sales department represent actually the 75% of the left employee, and you have the distribution like that. So here, yeah, so it's like normal because, yeah, some in when we look at the distribution of employee per department, it seems like the sales department have a lot of employee, and there we have also the yeah, a lot of left employees. So like this is not so useful, but maybe if you look at the beginning, we could have some information like 74% of those who are here actually left, and 75% of those who are here actually left. So those two departments look like the same, even those what I say, like, okay, so like this department is actually yeah, this or this, like the management department just cover like those. We have 600, about 630 employee here, and those who are here, from those who are here, we have about 85% of left. So like this is huge. When we look at the relative frequencies, this is huge. This is a lot. So like what is happening there, we could just be asking some question. But we are not using only the department, we can just also use the salary level. And from the salary level, yes, we saw that yes, those who are having high level salary are just living the most. So why? Because yeah, it could be like confusing at the beginning, because why are you living if you have a very good salary? But it's depend, you know, human are just complex. Like you cannot understand if you give them, yeah, if you give huge salary, yes, people are just searching for more and more. So like it, if you have a very huge salary, you will just search for a better salary, and from there you can take some decision of leaving. So at least you are satisfied, you get a good salary, but you want to leave because you find a better opportunity, then you will leave. And so when people, when HR are recruiting also, I think they are most like, if your salary is like huge, they will more take attention to your CV than someone that have low salary, because there's like the result, the thinking is like, if this guy is earning such salary, this means he's important and he know a lot of things. Like if they are about getting talented people in their teams, they will look at there and optimize, yeah, the salary. So it could be just depending on that. And now, as we look at the department to see if the department could actually be affecting the satisfaction of the left statue, or if the salary actually could be affecting, yeah, we can just like, okay, so actually we saw that from when we come in a company, the management, the top management teams is like the head of the company. Yeah, so like the CEO, the HR head, the finance department head, the marketing department head, the sales department head. So depending on the department, you have a head, and this head, when actually put together, like they will actually be the management team. Together with the CEO, there will be the management team. And we have a lot of living, yeah, a lot of living in these management teams. Looking at the relative frequency we just have here, we have a lot of living in this management team. And when we look at also the salary, we have a lot of living in the salary, in the high salary level. Like, it's like, look, let's say it makes sense to think that when you are actually in the management team, you will have a great salary, a huge salary. So it's like there is some correlation between, yes, this management team living and the high level salary living statue here. So like if we have this and we have also this, can we think about the next step for the analysis? Yes, we want to see now what is the relation between the department and the salary. Yeah, so we are about to see this one here. So we can, okay. So in which department, this is actually reflect what I was saying. In which department do we have the most high level salary? In the management department. So this just justify that, yes, they are living a lot in the management department, and for the high level salary, they are living also a lot, but it's simply because the high level salary actually in the management department. So this is like the kind of thinking I wanted you to have. Like, if you do one and two, what is the next? What is the next? Depending on, like, you are asking you first a question and then you find the answer, and then you are asking another question, you find an answer. But what is the next question to answer from the previous one? So this is the kind of analysis I want you to. Somebody don't need to ask you even to check about the correlation between department and salary before you do that, because they could just ask you to check about the relationship between the living statue and the department, and then the salary, and then by your creativity you will just explore this and to say, yes, I realize that most of the management here are just living, and most of those who have high level salary are living, but this is because high level salary actually is located more likely in the management team. Like, you just give an answer to the question, looking the your creativity and the answer you get from the previous question. Yes. So this is the kind of creativity I actually wanted you to have. And then there are some interpretation here. Yeah. So yeah, you can just interesting insight. You can just read it later and see. But now, from this interpretation, if you don't find a clear answer to why customers are leaving, using your exploration type now, we just explore other variables like work accident, like project. So the most important in salary and department. Like if I'm working somewhere and the working conditions are not good, it will like why the working conditions should not be good. Yeah, the salary is low. Now the department I work in is like is not we can working conditions are hard and I'm doing a lot of work, but I'm getting like few not huge salary. So like I will leave. So if I find better, I will leave. So apart from that, if I'm not getting my answer now, I can come up with some following some next variables like the so like less important than the order I just analyzed for. So like work accident, number of project. Yeah, so I could just be exploring those one now versus the left statue. So here, the number of work accidents. So in terms of frequency, you have it. So now the promotion. If I get actually a promotion, I will just stay. So those who are promoted even left like in 94%. So this is this is very interesting situation because it's like okay, but human are complex. I told you, even if you get a promotion, you can leave because getting the promotion make you more important in the company, and company are always looking for important and skills person. If you get a promotion, you will just go ahead, and as you are going ahead, some other company will just come up with some new proposal for you to get like a new team. Like they will find a way to get you on board. So like human are just complex. With like, at least maybe you can see how. Let's look at the football world, for example. Like Cristiano and Ronaldo are just moving from like if the more it seems like the more you are skilled, the more you will move. Like yeah, some other teams are just looking for talented people, even if they are expensive, they are just take it like that. So it's like these human resources things I can never understand, but it's like that. So exploring some more other variables like number of projects, time spent in yeah the project in the working. So like some other variables will just give you more idea, more precision, and yeah, here also you have some interpretation. And now some other variables are just here. So here, those variables are like qualitative variables, but here those variables are like quantitative variables, like monthly hour and last evaluation score. So like yeah, so how do you actually explore like the qualitative variable? So here you have univariate first to see how the variable you want to explore are distributed. So average monthly hour and last evaluation. And now from here you can just plot project the left statue to see actually where those who are living are located. Yeah, so apart from this, yeah, you can also do some more interesting analysis. I just provided some question here from all those analysis conducted above. Some question you can actually find interesting to answer, and just answering the first one, like how do we answer this question? Like we saw that high level satisfied employee are just leaving the company, but why? Yeah. Why? Because they have huge salary, they are satisfied, they are working in management teams. So why are they leaving? So we want to explore that. But how do we want to explore that? Yes. So like explore high satisfaction channel, explore a high satisfaction channel with high salary, explore high satisfaction channel who got promoted. So like just think like kind of analysis you can conduct actually to just do a deep dive analysis about everything. Like yeah, so at the beginning you will be directed, but next you will have to design the analysis yourself. You will have to think about yeah, what could be the order, what would be the next step, and looking the previous one and the answer I get from the previous question. I does any question come in my mind next? So how should I direct this so that at the end, when I read my analysis and my report, this looks like great, like making sense, like helpful decision. But yeah, so like yeah, some more analysis here, asking answering those questions we just asked it above. Yeah. Yeah, so this is all. I think I try to summarize everything. I like, yeah, just, oh, I'm sorry. You was not hearing me at all, right? Was you
No,
hearing? Uh,
yeah,
okay, did you hear my
yeah,
presentation? Was it?
you very well.
Ah, okay, sure. Yeah, so I try to summarize univariate and bivariate for you guys. I know you will need that in the weekly challenge. I even Sebastian, I think asked some question about that, and also if you think about some, like I told you yesterday, be creative. If you think something is useful, you can do it as extra work, as we want to see creativity. So if you are able to, but make sure you do the things you are supposed to do before, and then yeah, if you have some things to add, this is welcome. Yeah, so I try to summarize everything about yeah, so this bivariate and univariate analysis. PCA is multivariate analysis, and yeah, also be useful. I don't know if you have a question in today interim solution about PCA, but definitively I wanted to, at least I will find a useful link for PCA so that you will get introduced it quickly. For now, as I cover both univariate and bivariate, you are free for this afternoon to work on your tutorial. But I was discussing about with Sebastian about how do we actually get the PCA things. Like, are we using the next tutorial time stamp to cover quickly PCA? Yes, I'm thinking about, if I find a very clear resource, I will share with you. And if needed, we are going to do a live tutorial. If not, I will share with you, or Sebastian will share. We will think about and revert. So this is all for this time tutorial. Hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for following. Yeah.
Okay.